Alright, let's continue our chapter 2. Today we're going to talk about 2.4, an introduction to problem solving. So before we start the objectives, we need to learn some general strategies for problem solving. So I would say the first step, we will say try to understand the question. How can we understand this question? First, we need to read the question very carefully. Sometimes we need to read the question multiple times. So after we read the question, make sure you know the meaning of the question, right? What are we gonna do of the question? Next step, we want to choose a variable. Choose a variable to represent the unknown. So which means we should select maybe the X, right? So next step, if possible, you need to draw a picture to help you. To help you understand, sometimes the drawing is really helpful. Okay, so the first step we call it understanding the problem. The second step we should translate. We should translate the words to an equation. So which means the second step, we should list our equation, right? And then after that, step 3, we will solve the equation we have listed. So after that, because it's a word problem, so we need to interpret our result. We need to interpret the result and also check the solution. Okay, so let's check our first objective. We need to solve directly translation problems. Directly translation problems. So let's see an example. If we have this sentence, twice a number, added to 7, is the same as 3 subtracted from the number. So what is the number? So basically, when we have this kind of problem, find the numbers. We will just set the number as our variable. Here, maybe we will just pick X as the variable. So we first read the question. Twice a number added to 7 is the same as 3 subtracted from the number. So we understand this is the first step after we read our question. Next, we set the number. The number is the unknown here, right? So we should set the number as our X, as our variable. After that, we translate twice a number. So that will be 2 times X, right? Added to 7. So add means we should do addition. Is the same as. So is the same as, we should use the equal sign, right? After that, we have same as 3 subtracted from the number. So if it's 3 subtracted from the number, so that will be this number minus 3. 3 subtracted from the number x. So now after that, we finish our equation. Now we move to next step. We should solve this equation. So how can we solve this question? We have already talked about it in the previous sections. So first, for this question, we want to isolate it, the x one side. So both sides minus x. Then we will have 7 equals negative 3. Then both sides minus 7. So both sides minus 7. We will finally get x is equal to negative 10. Right? We solve this problem. After that, we know the unknown number. Last step, we interpret the number because it's a water problem. We will say our conclusion. The number is negative 10. Right? Okay, let's check another example. We will just do the same thing. First, we should try to understand. So we maybe need to read the problem multiple times. If this time we have this problem. Twice the sum of a number and 4. So make sure you know the sum of these two numbers, right? A number and a 4 is the same as 4 times the number decreased by 12. We still need to find the number. So after we read the question, we know there is something important here. We have twice the sum. So this time, make sure you know you should get the sum of two numbers, then multiply by 2, right? So which means maybe we need the parentheses here. So let's try to do the second step. Set the variable. Of course, again, here, the number is unknown. So we set a number as our variable x. Of course, if you want, you can set y or z or a, b, anything you want. So here we just set x. Make sure you know twice. Next step, we try to translate twice, so 2 times the sum. So make sure you know you should put parentheses here because you want to get the sum first. Sum of what? A number and a 4. So twice the sum, that will be 2 times the sum of x plus 4. So we will just list like this. Is equal to, so is the same as we will put equal sign, is equal to 4 times the number. So this part will be 4x. So after that, because we have parentheses here, we need to use the distributive rule first. So for this term, we will get, right? So after we use the distributive rule, when you do the distributive rule, make sure you should do it very carefully. I know this is a common mistake for lots of students. So after that, we will get 2x is equal to 8x is equal to 4. Oh, sorry, I didn't finish it by this step. So I will go back to, we just realized 4 times the number. 4 times the number and decreased by 12. Sorry, I didn't realize this words decreased by 12, so it will be minus 12. Still have minus 12 because we have decreased by 12. So that's why we should read our question multiple times. Make sure we do not miss anything. So after that, we will do the distributive rule first. Then we can do the remaining part. This time, we will get 2x is equal to 20. Then x is equal to 10. Okay, so this is how we solve this equation. Last step, we need to interpret it. So we write our conclusion. This number is 10. This is our interpretation. So this is first objective. Right? First one is directly translation. So the next one will be try to solve the problems involving relationship among unknown quantities. So let's just check examples. Let's try to see the example. So this time we talk about the involve a relationship among unknown quantity. What does that mean? We check the question. So this time we have this one, a 10-foot board. And this board is to be cut into two pieces. So that, and what kind of two pieces? The length of the longer piece is 4 times the length of short pieces. The shorter. And this is our question. We are interested in finding the length of each piece, which means we should find the length of the long piece and the length of the short piece, right? So first step, we still need to read our question multiple times. So a total 10-foot board and cut into two pieces. But the longer one is 4 times of the length of the shorter one. And we want to know. So if you read the question, you're still not very clear about the relationship, don't forget you can use a picture to help you understand. Right? You can use the picture to help you understand. So here, if you want, I can show you the picture. Let's see, I just put the board here. We will know the board is total 10 feet, right? So 10 feet in total, and cut into two pieces. And make sure this part 4 times this part. So total will be 10. And make sure this longer part is 4 times the length of the short piece. So after that, we can know if we set the shorter part as our unknown. We set it x. Then how can we find the longer piece? Of course, because we already know the relationship. So that's called the relationships among unknown quantities. So this time, the longer part, we can use 4 times x to represent the longer part. So we use their relationship. So next step, we will try to translate, right? So how can we list our equation here? We already know this short part, we use x to represent the length. Of course, we know if the shorter part is x, then the longer part is 4 times the shorter part. So we know length of the shorter is our x. So the length of longer piece is 4 times x. So if we put them together, that will be whole board. So it's 10 feet, right? So after that, we only need to solve our equation. Then we will get 5x equals 10x equals 2. Make sure you know this time what is our x. X is the length of short one piece. Then 4x will be the length of long one. After that, we know the short piece plus the long piece, we will get the whole board, 10 feet. So next step, we will try to interpret. Because the question asking you what's the length of each piece. So our conclusion will be the length of short piece is 2 feet. Of course, length of the long is 4x. So 4 times 2 will get 8 feet. Okay? So that's how we do this kind of questions. Because there's a relationship among unknown pieces. So let's check another example. This time, we know a computer science major at a local university has a part-time job working on computers for his client. So this is a part-time job. Okay, let's see. He charged $20 to come to your home. So this $20, we can call it the on-site fee, right? Go to your office or your home. And we also have this rate, $25 per hour. So each hour he do the job, he will have $25. And this time we have this question. During 1 month, he visited 10 homes. And we know total income is $575. We just want to know how many hours did he work. How many hours? Hours did he work? So we already know the total income, right? And his income includes two parts, right? One part we call it on-site fee. So another one is the the work. So next step we set how many hours as our x variable. We check how can we get the equation. So first we already know he went to 10 homes, right? So 10 homes, and each home he will have $20, right? Each home he will have $20. So that's for the on-site fee. Let's check how many hours did he work. So each hour will get 25 times how many hours did he work. So we know this part plus this part will get the total income. So this is how we list our equation. After that, we will get, so which means so we only, after we list our equation, we only need to solve it, right? So after we solve it, don't forget it's word problem, so maybe we should write our conclusion. So here we know x represents how many hours did he work, so our conclusion is he worked 15 hours. That's our conclusion. Okay. So next, we will talk about objective C. This problem, we call it consecutive integer problems. Consecutive integer problems. So if we are talking about consecutive integers, so if we set the smallest consecutive integers be our x, so how can we represent the second one? So we already know each consecutive, the difference between two consecutive integers will be just 1. So the small one is x, then I will get the second one by just adding 1. So x plus 1 will be the next one. Similarly, x plus 2 will be the next one, and so on, right? Because the difference between each consecutive integers is just 1. So each time we add 1 to get the next one. But for example, this time if we're talking about the even integers, that's a little bit different. We still set the smallest one will be the x. But how can we get the second even number? We already know it's just like skip counting, right? We plus 2 will get the second integer, second even integer, and plus another 2 to get the third even integer. But odd number almost the same. If we set the smallest odd integer will be x, we still need to add 2 to get next odd integer, plus another 2, which is x plus 4, to get the third odd integer. So make sure you understand. Basically, we just use this rule to represent the consecutive integer problems. Let's check the example. So first example, some states have a single area code for the entire state. 2 such states have area codes that are consecutive odd integers. So here we know it's consecutive odd integers. Odd integers. And we also know the sum of these 2 consecutive integers, the sum of these 2 odd integer is 1208. We want to find these 2 area code, so which means we want to find this 2 consecutive odd integers. We will say area code. Here, area code means 2 consecutive odd integers, right? So this time, we want to set the smaller area code. The smaller one be x. So we'll say the first area code, or we will say it's just the smaller odd number, right? X. And the second area code will be the large odd number. We will use x plus 2 because these 2 consecutive odd integers, not just consecutive integers. If they're talking about odd or even integers, we should plus 2, not 1, to get the next one, right? And from this question, we know we have this kind, the sum. So all we need to do is just put them together. If you want, you can put the parentheses here. So first code plus second code. The sum, we already know the number, right? We already know the number. So after that, we will get x is equal to 503. Oh, sorry. 603. Sorry, it's 603. So after we simplify it, we will get 2x equals 1206. Of course, x is equal to 603. So basically, that's all the objectives in the 2.4. Okay.